This is KMA Talk Radio, life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars. With your hosts, Honest Abe and Adam K. the Brewmeister. Listen to the show anywhere in the free world at KMATalkRadio.com.
I like to smoke them like Sir Winston Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, smoked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar.
Good morning, loyal listeners, libertarians, lovers of the leaf, everyone out there in Radio Land. Welcome to another exciting edition of KMA Talk Radio, broadcasting live on this, the 1st of December, in the year 2018.
What a year. Just flew by.
Yeah, 100%. A little bit? Yeah.
A little bit more. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Everybody always says that.
It really did, though, man. I mean, this year just, I don't even remember it existing, barely.
And that's what happens as we get older.
It's the truth.
The time of life just continues on, and we're already here in December, and got a couple of great episodes of KMA Talk Radio left before we have to end the year. Jose Ortega of My Father Cigars will be with us today. Next week, Rob Norris from Altadis USA.
Oh,
That'll be a fun interview. Who's the week after that?
Mike Palmer and Joan from Florinata.
There you got it. So, yeah, a lot of good fun stuff ahead as we get ready to close out the year.
We're not going to have just a whole year-end closing episode and talk about all the episodes of the year and reminisce. I thought that's what a producer would. Oh, yeah, that's right. We don't have one.
Boom.
That's what I would have done if
What
I
over
was,
the bow?
If I was the producer of the show and we had a show on the 29th of December, right?
Yeah.
Year before the end,
Yeah.
right, Adam?
Yeah.
I think I would have said, hey, man, this is great. Let's just do an end cap show. Just sit here and reminisce and talk about some of the fun times over the years, maybe some of the road trips we took.
There have been a few this year. I mean, we were in Georgia. We were in North Carolina. We've been in Miami.
That alone's a story.
Yeah.
You know? Some of the best episodes, maybe. Have some callers in, people call in. And it just made like a cool little...
That's called the 300th episode.
No, it's a cool little end of the year cap off to the show, but I'm not the producer. I just sit here and babble on a mic, so... it's too bad we really don't. We do.
You're the talent.
One over the bow. That's what it's all about. Oh, yes.
So, I feel like I'm just constantly telling him how to do his job.
Well, I mean...
He's laughing. He hasn't said anything because he's over there going, dang, he's right.
That's a good idea.
He's right. I should have.
What a good idea.
On the 29th, we do have a good friend that's been on the show a couple of times. Maybe we'll do it then.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. So you're rocking some...
I got patches, man.
You got patches all over your shirt here. What is with this?
My path to NASCAR is underway.
Uh-huh.
I've committed. At the La Zona Palooza, I was given a couple patches. I said, I'm going to patch my KMA shirt up to look like a NASCAR car. I'm going to patch up with anybody who's willing to patch me or send me a patch. We got a couple here. I got the Fed Ash. I don't know which camera I'm on here. Got some Espinosa La Zona. My friends at the Cigar Dojo this week. I mean, this is a mega patch.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big one.
Send me a big patch to Eric Edmerson and the guys at the Dojo Nation.
Shout out Dojo Nation.
We're going to have to give this some prime real estate. And I posted it on Facebook, and I've had a flood of people who are saying, they want to know where they can send me a patch. So it's pretty cool. If you go on Facebook, you can see the address. But even our good friend Skip Martin is sending us a Roma Craft patch.
Are we describing him as a good friend?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is he going to hand deliver it and come on the show?
No, he tagged one of the guys that works with them over there, and he said, dude, we'd love to send you a patch. I said, I'll wear it with honor, man. Give it some good prime real estate. So Skip's sending me a patch.
Wow.
Skip is sending him a patch.
I don't know why. Why would you say, is he really a friend? He listens to the show. He's always active. I have no issues with Skip Martin.
But he won't come on the show.
Okay, well, that's different. I like to bust his balls because he won't make time to come on the show. But he's absolutely a friend.
Okay. All right. We'll take that. We'll allow it. All right.
Listen, if
You'll allow that.
If the people who I busted balls aren't considered friends, then I really would have no friends.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, literally.
Valid point.
Literally.
Valid point, yes.
Literally.
All right. Here at KMA Talk Radio, we love to give wonderful things away. Our good friends over at Recluse have the Recluse Caption Contest of the Week. Congratulations to John Callanan. He took home last week's 5-pack of Recluse cigars. If you'd like a 5-pack of Recluse cigars, just head over to the KMA Talk Radio Facebook page. Post your best caption on this week's photo. Well, it's getting in the holiday spirit with, even bears do it.
That's a real picture, just so you know. There's a mall in Canada that set up their holiday display, and they had the polar bears literally positioned exactly like that. And you're going to love this, Abe. They had to send out a press release apologizing because so many people complained that it was such a horrifying sight for their children to see nature in action.
You've heard of doggy style, but polar bear style is really where it's at.
But listen, the problem is, look, I'm sure that's just an angle.
Yeah.
No. So I have other angles of it. They're like an inch apart. They're very close.
They're
like,
very close.
From all angles.
Okay.
From all angles, it looks bad.
Either way, here's the point: is this your innocent child that you feel so innocent has no clue what they're looking at. And if they're old enough that they have a clue what they're looking at, then it's not really that big of a deal. I mean, these parents need to get real. I mean,
some
seriously.
19-year-old kid somewhere put up this display, he
it's,
thought it was
look,
funny.
Nobody will know.
What gets me is it's the parents who are offended at this for their innocent kids. Meanwhile, the kids have no clue what they're looking at.
I'm looking at two polar bears in a display in a mall.
That's like one of the things I always told, my wife and I agreed upon with our kids, because, they'll hear you swear,
Yeah.
and then just start repeating it.
Yep.
We've never made an issue of it. Never acted like he said a word.
Oh, really?
Absolutely not. Because the second you make a thing out of it,
He's
he
gonna
knows
keep
that word means something. And they
But what if he starts using it at school?
listen, when they get that old, you can have a conversation with them about it. I'm talking about young ages, like 2, 3, where they're just repeating what you're saying like a parrot. The second you make an issue of it, it goes away. We never acknowledge it, act like it never happened.
Right. Okay.
Told the other girls, the older girls, same thing. It always
Don't
went away.
make a big deal out of
because they don't know what they're doing. The second you enlighten them about it, it becomes a whole different thing.
Yes.
Well, that's funny because my friend's son is going to be 3, and
Yeah, this is fascinating.
He told his mom to sit the F in her seat the other day, and my buddy got in trouble.
Different. That's different because that's being used in context.
Right.
Yes.
That kid knows what he.
But my buddy got blamed.
Very contextual.
His wife yelled at him, and she's like, "This is because of you."
I'm pretty sure it probably is because of him.
Of course, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure his kid has probably heard his dad say that a few times too.
Oh yeah.
But no, I'm talking about their kids. Sometimes they'll just say it. Walk around. Bah, 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 bah,
Oh, and not really know.
I
I
don't
see
know
what
what
you're
they're
saying.
doing. No, I mean,
No, he's using it in context.
Oh no, that's a whole different thing. That needs a
Okay.
discussion.
All right, good.
That's problematic.
So we're on the same page.
Oh, absolutely.
Every week, our good friends over at Zycar have the Zycar Poll of the Week. Congratulations to Michael Bryan of West Palm Beach, Florida. He took home last week's Zycar prize. If you'd like to win an all-in-one Zycar humidity kit, head over to the KMA Talk Radio Facebook page and cast your vote in this week's poll. When selecting a Christmas tree, do you prefer fake, all the way, my allergies can't handle a tree; real, there's nothing like the smell of fresh pine in your house; I don't put up a tree; or it's Christmas already? Again? Yeah. That's...
It literally feels like 4 every year. Seriously.
Do you put up a real tree?
No.
You have a fake tree?
Every year. Box it up. Looks beautiful, too.
It's a big tree?
Yeah. 9 feet, maybe.
All right.
Oh, no, that's what I got. Because we're in our house now, and it has high ceilings, so.
Yeah, it's got to be about 9, 10 feet, maybe.
And all the lights are already on it?
Oh, it's gorgeous. I'll take a picture of it.
Yeah, I want to see it.
My wife does a pretty kicking tree every year.
I can see her being into Christmas.
I might
and
have an
decorating.
old picture up from my Facebook page.
Do you not like having the tree? Or
No,
is
I love
kids
having
have
it.
allergy?
No,
I'm
I
saying
love
a real tree.
It's just about practicality, man. Who's going down, getting a tree, dragging it to the house, the stuff's all turning
Putting it
around,
on.
falling down.
Put it on the top of the car.
It doesn't
don't
last
care.
as long here in Florida, I'll tell you
No,
that.
absolutely not, 'cause it's not cold.
Right.
And it doesn't make for practical use. If you're all about the nostalgia, yeah, go out and get a tree.
We have a real tree.
I'm a more practical. I run my life on a more practical mainstream than nostalgia mainstream.
Excellent. Now let's take a break.
True. I mean, it's more important for me to be practical than nostalgic when it comes to a Christmas tree. I mean,
All right.
I mean, I get it. You know what? If I lived up north, it might be a different thing. Go to a lot, snowing. Pick one out.
But here they die so fast.
Yeah,
So much
get a
work.
tree,
And you have
make it
4
look
kids.
nice. Yeah,
It's
it makes no
different.
sense.
All right, and this introduction to Christmas tree holiday discussion has been brought to you in
Yes.
part by KMA Talk Radio. When we come back, we're going to talk to Jose Ortega of My Father Cigars. Keep it lit.
You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too!
Yes, it's mandatory.
Bold and complex. That is the new Romeo San Andres by Romeo Julieta. Using the very best San Andres wrapper leaf available in the market, Rafael Nadal, an AJ Fernandez collaborated together to create a new standard among San Andres cigars. Medium to full-bodied, this cigar is bountiful in both flavor and aroma. Available nationally for the first time, Romeo San Andres is a cigar you do not want to miss. Make sure to get one today at your local tobacconist. Romeo San Andres by Romeo y Julieta.
Cigar enthusiasts, did you know your personal freedom to enjoy a fine cigar is affected by some form of smoking ban in all 50 states? Additionally, taxation on premium cigars is at its highest level in history, with some states taxing at an astronomical rate of 75%. Finally, there's a solution. CRA, Cigar Rights of America, is the first and only non-profit public advocacy association fighting for your freedom to enjoy a fine cigar. Don't just sit there. Become part of the solution. Become a CRA member today. Membership is only $35 a year. That's less than $3 a month. And as a special bonus, CRA will send you 2 limited edition cigars as a way to say thank you for joining. Visit cigarrights.org for more information and to become a member.
Quality and value are always the 2 biggest determining factors for consumers when making buying decisions. Casa Bella by Sindicato Cigars offers superior flavor, quality construction, and an affordable everyday price. Completely handmade in the Dominican Republic, these value-priced, smooth yet flavorful cigars are comprised of Dominican and Nicaraguan filler tobaccos, and they're available in natural and Maduro wrappers. Visit syndicatocigars.com to find your nearest authorized dealer of Casa Bella cigars.
The Oliva family, the makers of some of the most affordable yet highest rated premium cigars available. For 7 straight years, Cigar Aficionado has rated Oliva as one of the best cigars of the year. And Oliva has a cigar for all smokers, from the newly released Gilberto Oliva Reserva to the bold and rich Oliva Serie V. Oliva cigars can be found at a tobacconist near you, so always ask for Oliva, an unbeatable value and uncompromising quality. The Oliva family of cigars.
The recently released Perdomo Double-Aged 12-Year Vintage is an extremely rare blend of Perdomo's finest and most cherished 12-year-old fillers, binders, and wrappers. Bale-aged for 10 years and then barrel-aged in bourbon barrels for an additional 2 years, these exquisite Nicaraguan tobaccos are bursting with rich, complex flavors. Offered in Connecticut, sun-grown, or Maduro, available at only 250 authorized tobacconists worldwide, the Perdomo Double-Aged 12-Year Vintage is a must-have for every cigar enthusiast.
Monte Cristo has set the standard once again, turning back the hands of time by utilizing a long-forgotten, unique aging process that harmonizes the flavors of the wrapper, binder, and filler with the use of small pilones. Monte Cristo Epic Craft Cured is an exquisite cigar you must try now. Available nationally for the first time, Monte Cristo Epic Craft Cured features a 2006 Nicaraguan Rosado Oscuro wrapper that is both beautiful and distinctive. This cigar is a masterpiece no one should miss. Make sure you get one today at your local tobacconist. Monte Cristo Epic Craft Cured. For 500 years, Nicaragua has served as a crossroads of cultures, ever since indigenous inhabitants mocked arriving Spanish conquistadors in a colorful, costume satirical masterpiece called El Huehuense, or The Wise Man. This great dance continues today in the careful blending of Nicaragua's finest tobacco. Master blender Nicolas Malil has worked tirelessly to create and honor the great dance of flavors in El Huehuense cigars. Visit foundationcigars.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too.
Yes, it's mandatory.
Welcome back to KMA Talk Radio. Broadcasting live here in Boynton Beach, Florida at the lovely Casa de Monte Cristo.
There you go.
And now we're showing off tree photos.
We are.
Yes.
Hey, Jose might have outdone us, man. Look, this is a gorgeous tree he's got over here. Holy cow. Yeah, me too, believe me.
Well, his wife is a decorator and a party planner extraordinaire, so I'm sure she got it.
I'm trying to decide whether his tree is better or just the lighting of the photograph is better.
All true, yes. Anybody want to see my tree? It doesn't exist.
I can't believe you don't put up a tree.
Why would I put up a tree for myself?
In all the apartments I ever lived in, I always had some kind of a tree, even if it was like a little one.
Did you notice the superimposed Santa Claus?
That was pretty nice, yeah.
Oh, I saw the Santa Claus. I didn't realize he was superimposed.
Yes, this was a picture I made last year for my son.
And you told him you look what the
When-
camera
when
caught?
when the cookies were gone and the milk was gone.
Yeah.
This was a printout left that Santa left him a little note autographed.
And you showed him proof?
Well, he saw it himself. Look, he left me a picture. It was pretty funny, actually.
Nice.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, well, I didn't ask.
Got it. Yes, but how were the cookies? Were they okay?
I eat them every year.
Sure.
Even Santa eats them every year.
Oh yes, very much so. So yes, this.
What's funny is I know my oldest, didn't believe in Santa when she goes, she goes, so are you going to eat the cookies again this year? It's like, how'd you know? I said, because you tell Mom never to make oatmeal. She was smart enough to catch that.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
Pretty good. So would you like to talk about the song now?
No. Did you play it? No, we got this. I have a soapbox that I'm going to talk about.
We'll talk about the second hour?
Yeah, it's in general discussion.
Okay, well, fine. We'll put it in the second hour.
At 11:30, I have a nice soapbox.
All right, we'll talk about it then, yes. But with that, it's time for what we consider to be our favorite part of the show.
I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell.
It's time to meet your maker.
This week, KMA Talk Radio is pleased to welcome into the house Jose Ortega of My Father's Cigars, a man that has been very difficult to nail down on.
It could be like the second time ever.
Yes.
Second time here, and then we did the one up in Cutters. So.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Yeah. Well, you just.
That doesn't count.
He happened to be there.
You didn't come to us. We came to you for that.
Yeah, all right, I'll take that. I'll take that.
He's everywhere. I mean, he's you're the VP of sales.
That is correct.
And
that is correct.
You still travel all over the country.
About 42 weeks a year.
Wow.
And how many miles have you put on this year?
Actually, I took a couple weeks off this year for personal reasons, and dude, I'm now chasing 100,000, but on the average it's about 125 to 130 a year.
Jeez.
That's funny. They get asked how many miles they put on this year. I get asked how many pounds they put on this year.
It is the holidays. Nobody cares
yes.
about
Well, listen, if it makes you feel any better, I had actually lost about 30 pounds, and then between going to Panama 2 weeks ago and Thanksgiving, I put on 10 again. And my wife tells me last night, she goes, "Did you gain weight?" I go, "Really? Seriously?"
that. That's always the worst.
That's the thing about weight in pounds. No matter how much you lose, you always seem to find something back.
Yeah.
You always find them. They just won't stay lost and gone.
And if you lose 5 pounds, nobody really notices 5 pounds. But if you gain 5 pounds, everybody notices.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and everybody remember, please sign up for Jenny Craig starting next week.
Is she still in business?
Yeah, I think
sure.
so.
Is she? Wow.
Yeah.
There's one actually right. The most ironic thing, right on US 1 and about Coral Way in Miami. There's a Jenny Craig
Right next door to
Domino's. Dunkin' Donuts. I'm like, are you kidding me? Really?
I was gonna say it was a buffet, but Dunkin' Donuts is still good.
That's genius on Dunkin' Donuts.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Nothing says good times like Jenny Craig and donuts.
Wow.
Oh man.
Did you read his fancy intro?
No. Did you want me to?
I like reading the intro, especially for a brand like My Father.
Because you worked so hard on writing it?
It's probably the actual 10 minutes he spends doing the work. So why don't you make him feel good? And
11 and a half.
Will it make you feel better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jose Ortega of My Father's Cigars is going to be our Meet Your Maker today. Expertly crafted by a renewed father-son team, this premium line of handmade cigars is built of the finest leaf from the Garcia family farms, along with the finest wrapper, binder, and filler tobaccos from several nations. All of the blends coming from Tabacalera My Father incorporate the traditional Cuban entubado-style bunching, thus enabling the cigars to burn and draw perfectly.
Feel better?
Wow.
Yeah, I took that from your website.
I teared up, actually.
You get a little emotional there?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. It's all on the read.
So,
Very nice.
You're a family guy, man. You got kids. How's all that traveling?
I made it a point when
I personally hate traveling because of that.
No, listen.
Unless I'm traveling with them.
I made it a point. I make it a point to be home every week. So I go out for 3 or 4 days and then come back for 3 or 4. So I keep a balance between being at home and doing what I got to do.
Okay, so you're not gone for 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time.
No, absolutely not. And even if I try to do it, Janny, the Garcias are such family-oriented themselves that Janny would probably say, absolutely not, cut me off and get back home. So
good.
That's good people to work for. You gotta love that. Absolutely.
It's either that or she really loves for me to be home, or she's trying to make sure I don't get divorced because it'll make life miserable if I'm in the office. Well, one or the other.
Then you'll always be at the office.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, our relationship goes back a long time. It goes back actually to when you were actually with Puro Indios back in the day.
Correct.
Are they actually still around? They still making cigars?
I understand they are.
Okay.
I was talking to an old friend who used to work with me there,
Yeah,
and he mentioned to me that I think they're doing a lot for the catalogs type of thing, but
just
not really sure.
brands,
I'm not sure how much.
So
they're
was
out
that your first job in the cigar industry?
Yes.
That was?
Yeah. Well, I actually.
How did you get that job?
Because my wife actually knew. My wife worked for Enrique Diaz, who's married to Oneida, and so when I closed my business.
What were you doing? What was your business?
I had a consulting company, so we used to do anti-money laundering. We actually
For real?
yeah, we talked.
Whoa.
How do we not know?
Yes, hold the horses now. This just became the more interesting part of the show.
Hold that thought.
I like when I dig and I find these golden nuggets.
I know, and you're the perfect teaser because we have to go to break
God.
now.
Yeah. Oh my. If you'd like to know everything there is to know about anti-money laundering, we're going to find out all of that right here on KMA Talk Radio. It's going to be a very exciting thing. I didn't even know this existed or that was a thing.
Right?
But that's going to be. Yeah, how deep can we go? Is like
we're gonna go deep.
No. In all fairness, I handled the sales aspect of that.
But it's all right. You still know what's going on.
But yeah, that's
We
fine.
still need to talk about it.
Yeah, we're still going to have to get into that because this is the first time we've had anyone who knows anything about anti-money laundering on KMA Talk Radio, and it's been 300 plus episodes. Wow, it's going to be an interesting show. Make sure you stick around. Check out the Zycar poll of the week this week. What do you like when selecting a Christmas tree? Fake, real, don't put up a tree. We've gotten way too much into that. Also, the Recluse caption contest. Make sure you post your best caption on this week's exciting mall polar bear extravaganza.
It's already gotten a lot of heat. A lot of people are loving it.
I'm sure they have. It's going to be a great show. Stick around and keep it lit.
You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too.
Yes, it's mandatory.
We are family. Stop right there. A, I hate the song. B, I can't sing. Dan Blunt here for Alec Bradley Cigars. I'm making a point, though, and that's Alec Bradley Cigars is a family operation. Alan Rubin named the company after his two sons, Alec and Bradley, when they were just tykes. Now they're grown up, working alongside their dad, making the best damn cigars you ever smoked. So join the family. Alec Bradley Cigars.
If you had to pack...
Bueller. Nope. Now it's out. I keep getting a timeout. Nope. They might have to reset the timeline in the office because it keeps timing out. he just reset it, it's going to take a sec for that one to boot. You got to tell me when it's booted. Nope, time out. No. Yeah, everything's running. It keeps timing out. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Nope, nothing. All right, that's what we got. All right, so Paul's back up.
I'm back up.
All
Welcome
right,
back to
Abe's back
KMA
here.
Talk Radio.
Yes, broadcasting on Facebook only because, well, technical difficulties. Who knows?
It's a story of our lives with this station. I'm sorry.
Oh, because they're so awesome.
Yeah.
That's all right. We have more listeners on Facebook and in our other markets than we do.
We are on VCMG, not live.
Not live, yes.
Not live.
And we are here with Jose, the Hurricane Ortega from My Father Cigars. And before we went to a break,
wait. Is that a real nickname, or did you just give that to him?
No, that's what he calls himself.
Oh,
really?
No. I did not give myself that name.
Oh, who
But
gave
you
that
refer to
name?
yourself
Actually,
as that.
Sathya Levine gave me.
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah.
And
He said when I would do the events at his store up in Philly, that I was like a hurricane, just hitting everybody up and selling everybody. So it stuck. After that, Manny Ferrero, may he rest in peace, started just calling me that, and it stuck.
So back to the money laundering.
Yes.
My ego is not that big. I wouldn't give myself a nickname.
Well, there's a rule of thumb. You should never really give yourself a nickname.
I agree.
Somebody has to don you a nickname.
Right.
Correct.
No one should
It
ever
doesn't count if you give it
Yeah,
to
no one
yourself.
should ever give themselves a nickname.
Correct.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's go back to this money laundering thing.
All
So,
right.
this is a legitimate business, I'm going to assume.
Anti-money laundering.
And what was the product that's being sold here?
So no, basically what we did is we actually taught the banks. We worked primarily with Latin America, specifically Central America.
So you guys, your clientele was Central American banks.
Correct.
And you
Correct.
worked out of Miami.
The chief compliance officers, anybody that had to do with any of the private banking and so forth. So they would attend our conferences, and we actually flew to those countries and did the seminars there. So Costa Rica was a big country for us.
And
but
you helped them detect if people were money laundering.
We literally taught them how to launder money, and then that way they could catch the red flags.
So
And
you educate them on the...
Correct.
So you tell them, hey, if a guy pulls up with a big truck and it's filled for cash,
Yeah.
top to bottom, it's most likely money laundering.
Just a little bit.
If they have 82 boxes
although
filled with
you
cash-
tell them, you say, hey, you didn't have to come to this course to realize that if a guy walks in with a briefcase full of cash,
It's pretty much money laundering.
Yeah, it's money laundering at this
So
point.
wait, so I'm just curious. Now you were just a salesman, so you'd you'd approach these banks, hire them, and then other people would go out and teach it.
Correct. So
Did you learn any cool things that obviously we're all sitting here and we know that if a truck pulls up and it's unloading pallets of cash, that's money laundering.
Yeah.
But is there any subtle things that you
I
never thought of that.
Because I don't know who your listeners all are. I'm going to say I didn't learn anything at all. I didn't,
In case we have cartel fans.
You never know, bro.
Cigar cartel.
Hey, listen, I'm concerned with either side of that fence. It might
Really?
be somebody approach me to come help them clean it,
Oh,
or the government saying, so what do you know?
Right.
I don't know nothing. No hablo.
We'll talk after the show.
No hablo es
No hablo.
I agree, though. You think about that side of it. So people might come to you and say, "Hey, show me how to do this."
Well, listen, that's the reason why. To be honest with you, that's the reason why we closed. Because I was a partner in the business.
Oh, wow.
So it was three of us, and that's the reason we eventually just went our different ways, because we realized that there were actually people that started taking the courses to actually implement, and we said, "Oh, now you're running into a gray line of, if you know, if you don't know, you don't know. But if you even slightly think, now you expose yourself to being in trouble." And I said, "I don't want any of this."
So
shit.
here's a question. Here's a question: how did you and your partners find out how to do all this stuff?
Ooh.
Well, because my partners, that's what they did. They
His
were
partner
in
was
private
Pablo
banking.
Escobar.
Trust.
Yeah, I know. Man. Exactly. Well, John Gotti was a partner.
No.
So they just knew what to look for.
Yeah,
he
because
was in banking.
they were in the banking industry,
Okay.
and they set up trust companies in Panama. So, and that's obviously
One of the ways.
Yeah.
one of the ways.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, so we took what we knew and created a company that we did very well for a couple of years, and then realized it was time to
Move on. And then
So I ended up closing my part of the business, and they continued doing it from Panama.
I'm
And-
assuming all this time you were into cigars at least.
well, I did smoke cigars.
You were smoking
yeah,
cigars,
but
yeah.
not like I do now.
Right.
Jeez.
Now
That
it's
was definitely-
now it's a job requirement.
Yeah. Now I must, even if I don't want to. My father, by the way.
There you go.
There you go. Got to put that in there. But yeah, no. So I enjoyed a cigar, and remember, a lot of my clientele smoke cigars,
Sure.
so I had to.
Latin America.
I had to know how to do it. So, long story short, like I was saying, my wife worked with Enrique, and they needed somebody at that time, and they asked me if I would come on. I said, well, yeah, I'm closing my business, might as well. And here we are, 15 years later.
And from there you were Puros India. So how many years did you spend there?
I was there for 7 years.
That's a long time.
And
yeah.
8 years now with my father.
And how did you make the jump from there to there? How did that happen? From Puros to my father.
Someone introduced me to Janny Garcia, and she, we had a bit of a chat. Then I talked to Jaime for 2 hours on a plane. We came
Really?
back from Philly. We flew back from Philly on the plane. As God would have it, right? We were sitting next to
On
each
accident.
other. On accident.
On
It was
accident.
never planned.
On
And
accident.
we were sat next to each other, and we started talking, and here we are.
Good for
After
you.
that, they called me up, said, hey, you want to come over? And I said, why not?
Good for you. Very interesting.
Jaime was really instrumental because I spoke with Jaime at that time. That was 8 years ago. I spoke with Jaime for 2 hours on the plane, and man, that guy is like Red Bull and Monster put together. You know,
Really?
Dude, seriously, that guy. If he told you, let's go knock this wall down, somehow you get excited about knocking the damn wall down, and that's how he is. He's like a jolt of energy.
It's funny. It doesn't translate as much, but
Yeah.
because you know he's more comfortable when he can speak to you
In the Spanish, yeah.
right,
Yeah,
Spanish. Because I mean, I remember I met him for the first time. It was the grand opening of my second location, and I didn't even know who he was. He was rolling
Yeah.
at the time, him and his wife for Tropical, I think it was. At
Uh-huh.
the time, and they were one of the companies we had, and they were there at Rolling Cigars at my grand opening. It wasn't like a decade later when I was just going through old photos, like, holy cow! He was in my event, and you didn't even realize it back then. You know, it was crazy.
He's either a jolt of energy that comes at you, or really scary guy. You know, the kind of guy.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, you look at him and you go, okay, that's the guy. So 300 guys in here, that's the last one I'm gonna get involved. I'm gonna fight.
I gotta watch
it's
it.
totally not what you would expect, honestly. Really, it's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Wild.
I mean, he's always been so quiet around me, but maybe that's just the. He's got to get to know you better. That's
He's
probably
he's scoping you out. He's reading you, bro. That's not a good thing.
So you bought us a couple cigars today. These are some of your new offerings.
Yes. Yeah. So
Tell us about them.
So we got La Opulencia, which is using a San Andres wrapper and
That's what I'm smoking right now.
That's what we're
Nicaraguan
smoking.
filler and binder. Phenomenal cigar. Well, here, I'll do this as well. See, so, but anyway, so it's very noticeable on the shelves because it has a little green footband on it. But it's a beautiful cigar. I jokingly tell people all the time. I said it's if you took if you've smoked the Le Bijou and you've smoked the Judge, and you kind of if those two had a love child, that cigar would be it. So it's got that chocolate, the sweetness that you get from the Judge, but you got the spiciness and the strength that you get out of the Le Bijou. So, you know. I
That's
think
my
it's a phenomenal
cigar from you guys. I love the Le Bijou. What's the genesis of that name?
Well, so the company became my father because Jaime created a cigar, the original my father.
Right, right.
In secret of Pepin. So Pepin had no idea. He kept testing the blends and kept approving the blend, but he didn't know what was going on. So Jaime wanted to pay homage to his dad, pay respect, and so he created something, a brand for Pepin. And that's why it was called My Father. And so, unfortunately, the surprise was ruined because Pepin happened to be in Miami. FedEx showed up with all the packaging from Cigar Rings and all the artwork. And Pepin opened it up, and he calls Jaime and goes, Jaime, what in the world is this? And he goes, hey, Dad, surprise. That's
wow.
something I'm doing to honor you. So,
Oh, wow.
it did extremely well. It became the number 3 cigar of the year in 2008, and Pepin was so moved by that he created the My Father Le Bijou, which means is a French word for the jewel. And if you notice, it's called Le Bijou 1922, and 1922 is the birth year of Pepin's father, who got Pepin into the cigar into the cigar world.
I didn't even know that.
I did not even know that one either. And hey, we learn something new every day here on KMA Talk Radio.
That's why I'm here. Otherwise, I have no value. Only to my wife. Only to my wife.
Did you hear that, Yanni? He's trying to get a raise out of you.
So tell us about this one here. La Gran Oferta.
La Gran Oferta, which means the great offering, and that is our most recent introduction to the market. That's going to be more of a medium plus. Like the Opulencia is going to have a lot of the chocolate, sweeter, more of the nutty creaminess to it. Not as strong. It's it's a medium plus at best. But that's another phenomenal cigar. And that one, if you see it on the shelf, you'll recognize it by the light blue or aqua blue or whatever you.
Is that what you guys are doing now to help differentiate? Because I mean, you got to admit it. It's not for the footer band. A lot of these kind of.
Correct. So
the same.
That actually started as a thing. We did it first with Flor de las Antillas, and it was just done as a decorative thing, nothing to it. But people started, kind of
finding it
because of that. And then, if you remember, in the Le Bijou box press torpedo, we put the orange footband.
Right.
That was the only Le Bijou that had it, and people were. Again, the feedback was so great, and then we started, hold on, let's start doing it with everything that comes after that. And so we started putting it on, and more people just kept telling us, dude, it makes it so much easier, to recognize the difference, because if you're right, if you look at all the My Fathers, between My Father, Le Bijou, so they're different, but they're not. They
Yes.
look very similar as far as the band's concerned.
Right.
So it made it easier to find it on the shelf.
Awesome.
No, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. The bands themselves too are unique on My Father's Cigars. What?
So the gentleman who does all the artwork for us, his name is Alcides Montenegro, and Alcides is the general manager.
He works in-house for you.
Correct.
Yes.
He's Pepin's nephew, and he's an architect by trade. So.
Wow, an architect who now who's in the cigar business.
Yeah.
It's amazing sometimes.
Crazy things.
That's how
happen,
things
yeah.
work out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, but he's very detail oriented, as you can tell, and he's got a very beautiful eye for art. And listen, I think not for nothing, not to take anything away from everyone else, but I think My Father bands definitely are some of the most beautiful, ornate bands that are out there.
Yeah, they're very elegant.
Yeah.
And that kind of, accentuates the brand to me.
Yeah. I like the fact that they're not gaudy, because there's some out there that are very gaudy, just overdone with the gold and so forth. We use a lot of gold, as you can tell, but it just highlights, the bands. It's not overly done.
Like John Gotti?
Yeah.
All comes full circle back to money laundering.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I gotta admit, throughout my career, 23 years plus in this industry, I've been spot on a lot of times. I've been completely dead wrong a lot of times, and I don't know if I actually shared this story with anybody, but My Father's Cigars was like one of my dead wrong moments.
Oh, tell us.
Really?
I just thought it was a terrible name.
Really?
Yeah.
So what did you say something to them?
I don't think you were with the company when it first
No.
came out,
No,
right?
no.
So you weren't, but I think whoever was at the time in your position, I said, "Oh my God, what is his name? My father sounds silly," and I just didn't see it. And I said, maybe they should have called it like Me Padre or something. And plus, it had a big MF on the band. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like,
wow, I never thought of that.
I mean, listen, and this was one of my dead wrong moments, because I've had them. It happens.
Rarely.
No, well, listen, I'll say I've been ventured to be more spot on than I've been wrong over the years. But this was one of my epic, I was wrong.
I'll tell you this. It's actually a
Not
brand.
only did it relate well, everybody loves it, and it's held the test of time, and it's become a staple.
Long-standing brand.
Yeah, My Father. I know the brand.
And it is a brand that I smoked before I met you guys and really got into the cigar world. So if that says anything, like a serious cigar smoker that I used to smoke good cigars with, because I used to smoke cheap stuff before I came here, he introduced me to My Father.
Nice.
I don't remember what it was, but he introduced me to My Father. I knew the brand before I came here, so that says something.
Funny you say something about the hardship on the names, but Flor de las Antillas, when we first introduced Flor de las Antillas, it was introduced at a sales meeting, and all my sales guys were going nuts. They're like, "Are you kidding me?" He says, every customer's going to have a problem saying that name and blah, 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 and everything else. And then sure enough, it turned around, it was the #1 cigar of the year. And I go, oh, yeah, you know what? I said, let's keep coming up with not terrible names, but very difficult names because they seem to do the best.
They're also memorable.
Yeah.
It's not like Le Bijou and it's a memorable name. People remember that kind of stuff, the uniqueness of it. And they said that, people said that about Nick's cigar, El Huehuense, right? That it's too difficult to say, and
hard names.
That's a popular cigar as well.
Well, look, whether it's, in my opinion, my humble opinion, whether it's packaging or whether it's names, whether it's the bands, that's always just the hook. You got to have the product on the backside.
Right.
Correct.
Otherwise, all you got is one sale.
Yeah.
Right. You can have a great marketing guy that makes something
that everybody will
sound
buy
great,
once.
look great.
That everybody will buy once. But if the product's no good,
but they're not coming back.
They're not coming back.
Right.
So, and the family has been legendary for making some stellar products.
Well, I always tell people, I said, as you know, I do so many events, and I talk to a lot of people, and I say, the fact that they have accomplished, because I include myself in this now, but we've accomplished so much in the last 15 years in a very short period of time where the company is today. It truly is a testament to the knowledge that they have and the passion that they have for making great cigars. And I think people ask me what's the secret, but I think really the secret is the fact that they've grown so much of their own tobacco, and Pepin is it's so key into the process that he uses for the fermentation and aging and so forth, that that's what makes a difference, man. It's just how well he works with tobacco.
No, it's interesting you brought up, they grow a lot of tobacco, they make a lot of great product, and, it's interesting because the My Father factory makes a lot of cigars for a lot of other manufacturers. So as someone who is going out on the road all the time.
A lot of other brands.
Yes, they make a lot of other brands.
Brand owners.
They make a lot of cigars for a lot of other brand owners.
Yes.
How do you combat having to compete against your own factory constantly?
Do you find that happening? Do you find somebody's so into what My Father does, the Pepin family does, that you go to an event, you go to a store, and they go, "Oh, I really like this cigar that he makes, but it's not one of your brands."
Yeah. Well, no, and actually, yes, I do get that a lot, and I never discourage, because at the end of the day, it's a win for the factory, and that, to me, as long as the factory is solid, then I got a job.
There's a saying in Arabic: "It's all one bag."
It's exactly.
It's all going to one bag.
So so to me, it just as long as the factory's solid, we're good. And I think there's enough cigar smokers out there that I don't need to discourage them from smoking one or the other. If anything, it's a gateway to say, hey, you've smoked this, why don't you try this? And I think they do the same thing as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what's interesting to me is with using the tobacco that Pepin has and Jaime, that they're able to make cigars for Tatuaje. They're able to make the San Cristobal and La Roma de Cuba. And even though there's so many different sizes, so many different brands, alongside with My Father's, yet you smoke each one of those, and they're very different from each other. So they're very unique individually. No one is like the other. So that's another reason why it's easier for us to just say, hey, all right, if you like this, then you like, and that's what I tell them. I said, okay, so if you like this, great. That means you like the factory. That being said, come try this.
Variety is the spice of life.
Oh, 100%.
It's like going to your restaurant.
Except for women. My wife will not agree with that ever.
Yeah. I'll stay off that topic. No, I mean, it's like going to your favorite restaurant. You're more willing to try a different dish that chef or that restaurant makes because you like the work that he's done there before, and other things that you've consumed.
Well, people develop a personal relationship with a product and a brand.
I always have been I'm a family guy. Anybody who follows me on Facebook will know personally, not my company page, that I'm really a heavy-duty family guy.
Yeah.
I put a lot of heart and belief into what family values are, the core of trying to raise my kids that way. And I have an affinity for those family-run companies in this industry. I have a certain love that I'm just naturally inherent, that I love seeing it. I wish my kids are all still young. I don't know if I'm going to still be working when they get to that of age to start working, whether I could say, hey, I'm working with my family, which is also a catch-22, because I think any father, while he might enjoy wanting to work with his family, you'd like to see your kids do better things.
Oh, without a doubt.
Actually, my daughter, speaking of better things, my daughter, who's had an agent now for a year and a half or so, and has gotten many calls, just got her first gig. It's at Disney. We're going out to Disney in Orlando.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yes.
What's she doing?
They haven't told us.
Is she doing it in the parks, or is it for Disney?
They haven't told us. Here's the gig. Here's what we know. She's doing something with Disney Cast. And we have to be there Monday. I got to get her Monday night because the shoot is at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And we have to meet at the Fantasia Golf Course.
Yep.
Well, they will shuttle the child actor or the talent with one parental.
Yeah, they always do that.
No, well, I guess sometimes we're a little more liberal because they said I guess maybe Disney's a little more liberal.
When you get to big shoots like that,
Yeah.
they are very strict with the children because the two of you there while they're doing a real production, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare having parents there anyway.
Probably.
To be honest, I've done a lot of off-Broadway stuff with kids and.
Especially if you have the helicopter parents.
Right, exactly, and they all are. No offense. I mean, kids that are in the entertainment industry, their parents are all over everything that they're doing. So they'll stop the director and be like, "I don't think she should be doing that. I don't think he should." be doing that.
I won't be doing that.
So,
but we're excited for her.
That's awesome,
and
man.
I'd like to see her do better things as much as I'd like to work with her one day. So
well, and
it's
you
a
know the
catch-22.
stresses that you have in your daily life and what you deal with at work, and you don't want that for them.
I believe I don't care what you do. Stress is part of life.
Okay.
I really don't care. Guy wins the lottery, he'll tell you about all the stress he's having the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Stress is just one of those things that you just need to learn to factor into your life, no matter what you do.
If there's things you can't change, there's nothing you can do about them. You can
one
make
of
them
my
better.
mentors, God rest his soul, Sal Fontana.
Oh, yeah, Sal.
Taught me one of the best lessons ever. If moving heaven and earth won't change it, why worry?
That's a great way to live.
Till this day, I don't forget it. If moving heaven and earth won't change something, why worry?
Yeah.
And I use that. I implement that today. But I have an affinity, whether it's the Padrones, the Fuentes, Newmans, the Garcias. I love that family because I look at my family and the goodness that comes out of our bond and closeness. For me, I believe that translates into the product.
100%.
When you have a close family, I go down. Well, not as much now today, but back in the day, I used to go to Miami literally once a month.
Right.
And every time I visit them, even the Padrones, right? You'd think they're all working. I've seen Orlando shrink wrapping boxes at times. Yeah, they're all there. They're all working every day. And I just, psychologically, I guess in my mind, I don't know if it's a bias or whatever it is, I just feel that better things come out when
it's not just a job.
It's not just a job. It's a way of life.
Yeah.
Literally a way of life.
And this is your family's name. This is your legacy.
Yep.
You're the ambassador of your family's name.
And that's the thing. You with family-run companies, you actually get the passion.
And the pride.
It's going to a restaurant. It's going even within the cigars. You feel the pride, the passion, that extra step that on a corporate level, not again to each its own, but on a corporate level, you don't get that. There's not that personal touch. And I mean, now listen, I've been in Nicaragua on a Saturday or even on a Sunday when I've gone with groups and I've overlapped, and listen, Pepino called me and said, hey, I'm coming to pick you up. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. We're driving out to a farm somewhere, and I'm going, Pepino, it's Saturday. Let me just take a break. He said, absolutely not. We got to go see this. So they understand that tobacco doesn't stop. Tobacco's it's a living organism. It's always doing something, and they have to see it every single day.
It's growing when you're sleeping.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, it is.
That's right.
Well said. Well said. All right.
So we got to take a break here. It's going to kind of be a little bit weird.
Yeah, I'm going to try and see if we can get back on,
We're going to see if we can get back on. We have no connection to the studio, so out there, so don't freak out when you don't hear anything.
Yeah, you're going to hear silence.
There should be some royalty-free music in there. If you can find it.
It's hard to find it, to be honest.
Is it your computer?
No, it's because we have two separate things. I'll explain in the break. We have two separate things.
Okay.
But people want to know.
Yeah, people want to know,
man. People want to know
what you're doing, Paul.
It's very boring.
Why are you so disorganized?
We're not disorganized.
Are you this unorganized at home?
We only have music in the KMA Late Night segment, which is a separate program, than the KMA Live segment. So I can try and find it on the computer.
Now we see what we're doing.
So during this break, you might want to shuffle a couple of those songs over. So at least if we got to take another break, we could actually play some
I got to
music.
find them on the computer, but I will do that. This break we may not have.
But you could type at the bottom, we'll be right back, in case you hear dead silence, right?
You always have that. It's
Okay.
always up there.
All right.
Oh, yes. There we go. All
Let's
right.
take a break on
Taking a break on here on KMA Talk Radio and not on radio.
Right?
Yeah. Keep it lit.
What we have found in Esteli, with a few problems here and there, it's been all right in Esteli. I mean, a lot of the problems has been in Managua and South.
Right, the capital.
But in Esteli, people are going to work. Nobody wants to lose their job. Remember, Esteli is a unique city because Esteli is one of those cities that there's actually there's less employment opportunities than there is people. We actually have to have. I'm sorry, there's more employment opportunities than there is people. We actually have to bus people from the outskirts,
other towns, right?
To bring in. So. Yeah, people don't want to lose their jobs, and so they go to work.
But the people aren't the people that are causing the problem. It's the government and stuff. I mean, so at this point, they have really not very little concerns that they're worried about.
No. Right now, it's been business as usual, and knock on wood.
Now, does your product come to the States via Managua?
Correct.
Have you been having trouble at times getting product out?
We had for a little while. We did. We found other alternate routes, but
are like
right
the trucks
now
not going through the jungles now?
No. Everything's running smooth right now.
Oh, that's good to hear.
So.
Is it? I mean, I haven't really honestly kept up with it as much. Are things looking better for the horizon, or is everything just? Last night everything was just kind of status quo, and nothing was really in the works to resolve any issues there.
Yeah, no.
I guess there's no real resolution unless he gets out.
Pretty much.
That's probably the end result resolution. Yeah. So, but everything's just kind of like.
As far as I know, like I said, I haven't been down in Nicaragua since last year. So.
Is that because you have a concern of going there, or just been too busy?
No, just been busy.
Would you go?
Would I go?
Yeah,
I feel that. I feel that there's not enough danger for me not to go.
Okay.
All right, there you go. That's a good thing to know. But now the other thing is, now you said earlier when you've had tours, and obviously you guys do factory tours and bring people down, and most people have canceled those.
Have those stopped
are you gonna? Have you stopped those? Are you in talks to bring that back at all? Or
we have stopped them. Well, I shouldn't say we stopped them. We did up to the last one with no problem, and because remember just the time frame of when we do them.
Yeah.
We always want to maximize the visit.
That's in regards to the growing season.
Correct.
Yeah.
Maximize it with the growing season.
As far as the growing season, there's no point in bringing a group of people out there and there's nothing but seedlings out.
When Jeff had that problem.
The barn smoker where he lost his crops and they actually planted.
That was part of the thing. It's
tobacco.
Like, here we are, we're going to plant tobacco now as part of this.
They had to lose the whole crop. So, he means maximizing that. But the spring and the fall is usually when it starts up again. Yeah. Is it on your guys' agenda to start them up?
For us, we had decided anyway. We had decided to put a halt on them, only because we're doing so much construction. We're expanding.
Wait till all that's
and
done.
So when you're doing that, everyone who comes down, they always want to see it. And you feel bad saying, no, I can't take you there, because then it's kind of, you're hiding something.
Right.
And it's not that. We're just trying to keep people safe.
Sure.
When there's construction, anything can
even
happen.
Even here, you can't let people.
Look, you know how it is. You tell somebody, look, don't walk over there. That's like saying, please go. It's like wearing a big arrow.
Yeah. And you got a lot of nails sticking up right on the floor.
Don't
it's
go there.
To walk there.
There'll be that one guy.
This slippery when wet area, please don't go here. Yes.
Because the one aspect of Nicaragua that's undoubtedly has taken a hit no matter what is tourism.
Yeah.
I mean, people are just kind of have stopped kind of going there. Has that changed at all?
I think people, from what I understand, again, I haven't been there, but I hear that the planes are starting to fill up again.
Yeah.
When the initial problem happened,
there was empty planes.
It was empty planes. They were flying. Yep. Yeah, they canceled a lot of flights because of it. Because they were just empty. From what I understand, people are back to normal as far as the travel. The planes are filled. So I don't know that they've added all the flights that they had before. I haven't paid attention because I haven't been booking flights down to Nicaragua. But from what I understand, they're pretty packed.
Okay, well, hey, that's good to hear. I mean, hey, that's a positive vibe, and we need to hear all the positive vibe we can about Nicaragua.
Especially for the people, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's like anything else. The people are the ones that suffer, and they need that. They need the flow, the monetary flow. So.
And it's honestly people that really don't need any more extra suffering in their normal daily lives.
Correct.
As it is.
They're hardworking people, and they just they need to go. Life goes. You know what I mean?
So
goes on.
We talked about the La Gran Operetta briefly, and about how that was the latest release.
That's going to be a #1 cigar of the year. He can't say the name for that.
He's getting into some of my next line of questioning.
But he can smoke it.
That's important. That's what's important.
Right. I mean, okay. Since you brought that up, I'll jump ahead to that because that was going to be in one of my next couple of questions. It's now December. everybody knows what happens in the next couple of weeks, and you guys have had 3 number 1 cigars of the year in the last 6 years.
We've had 2.
Two.
We've had 3. Yes, we've had 2 with Cigar Aficionado and 1 with Cigars Now.
Right.
Is there a chatter in the office?
Well, unfortunately, people think that we know ahead of time.
No,
we
know,
never know.
Nobody ever knows.
We never know. But we look at the cigars that have been rated. For example, La Pulencia has been rated, had 93 rating. We just got 95 rating on the Flor de las Antillas Belicoso.
Right.
So you never know. I know we have a few contenders in there, based again not because we're told anything, just because you decipher by the fact that you've had the ratings.
Listen, most guys get a feel for it.
Correct.
The cigar was rated a couple times. It's had a lot of press. It's booming sales everywhere. So everybody's talking about it.
Correct.
You get a feel for it.
La Gran Oferta is a contender. I think La Gran Oferta is a contender.
So you feel you got a couple contenders this year?
I think I've got at least 3 contenders in there. Yep, I do. I hope I'm right.
I'm trying. If we had an intern, which our producer normally is in charge of, getting a company.
Yeah.
If we had an intern, I'm curious as who holds that title the most.
As far as most number 1s?
Yes, with CA.
I think it's Padron. I think Fuente may be at 2 or 3, but not
because
not sure.
I think if you guys get it one more time, it's got to be close to the most. I don't think anybody's had it 3 or 4 times.
Okay, the Padron 80th had it. The Padron 45. The Padron 40th, I want to say. Oh man, now we're really trying to get into the archives.
This is intern work.
Yeah, definitely intern work.
For sure. I know that Padron has had it 3 times. Not sure about Fuente. I want to say that they have as well. And
I know they've had
2.
it twice, at least Fuente.
Yeah,
I can remember twice.
I know they've had it twice.
Well, obviously there was last year with the cigar that no one can ever get.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But so have you guys even thought about that in the process of how you're trying to get product into the country so you don't have the issues where you had the lay bijou and then everybody shut?
That's not a problem of getting product in the country. It's production.
Yes.
His production schedule's already been done.
Right.
So whatever was going to be made that come around January has been made. So even if something becomes number 1, and this is where a lot of companies,
and the worst part, and then everybody goes on vacation for 3 weeks.
Everybody goes on vacation, and the production to meet that instant demand that would happen in January doesn't come in for 3 months?
Correct.
Yeah, 3 months. Look at that.
Because of course.
Look at that.
Big Delicious, baby.
Paul, look at this. Get this camera on this. Look at what Jose. This is the Big Delicious Bloody Mary here at the Casa de Monte Cristo. Look at this, baby.
Nothing but the best in the
It's breakfast
Bloody
in a
Mary.
cup.
Exactly. It's lunch.
Breakfast in a cup. The Big Delicious.
It's a whole
Thank
meal.
you, sir.
Enjoy.
Oh, this thing is aggressive.
That is my own personal concoction.
So back to what we were talking about. We have been blessed in that the cigars that we've had as number 1 cigars of the year were already extremely well sellers. So we were already selling a lot. Production was already high. Yes, we wish we could know ahead of time. I wish they would say this back in July, but I guess it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Anytime they tell you, you can't go out and rush. The secret to cigars is they have a set time. They have to age a certain amount of time.
Right.
So even if your sales all of a sudden, and they do, because trust me, I get a call from some people.
Yep.
Hey, I want 500 boxes.
No, not that. Listen, when that happens, the call is, don't ship them. We'll send somebody down in a couple hours to pick them up, because I know what these guys do. It'll be gone by the time we get there.
Yep.
Got to get somebody down there fast.
But you can't rush it. So, I guess there's really not a good time to know. Just happens to be, it is what it is. We've been blessed that Flor de las Antillas was already an extremely hot seller, so our production was high on it. And we were smart on the way we distributed them. You know what I mean? If you order 500 boxes, dude, you were lucky to get 50.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if we had 500, we needed to spread them out to everybody.
Spread the wealth.
It's keeping the cigar on the shelf is the key to it. So, hey. Again, I hope. I mean, from your lips to God's ears, that I hope we get another number 1. You know what I mean? We'd love to be in that.
Do you get like a plaque or something from CA?
Yeah, we get a trophy and.
Is it a trophy? Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah,
So
we get the plaque. We get the plaque that we display at the office. Yeah,
the office. Pretty cool, man. That's cool stuff.
Like do a Super Bowl picture with it, everybody holding it together.
We should actually. We should do that. We should do that.
You should do a social media picture where you have the other two and just an empty spot.
Like waiting
with a plate there, and like
an outline, waiting for a trophy
the frame.
Do you get the same amount of enthusiasm from, say, number 2 or number 3 on the list, or does that not affect sales at all?
For us, we do, and I'll tell you why. Because again, we don't expect them.
Okay.
We work very hard at making the best cigar that we know, and when it's acknowledged,
it's always a good feeling.
It's always a great feeling.
Absolutely.
So whether it's 2, 3, 4, 5, it doesn't matter to us. It's just a matter of the acknowledgement from someone that we respect as an expert in the field, like Cigar Aficionado.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a very good point. All right. Paul, we're going to take a short break here as we have now run up to 20 minutes past the bottom of the hour.
Mega segments.
I guess it doesn't matter now.
Yes, but no, Paul's going to play a brief little audio clip for you guys of royalty-free music here on KMA Talk Facebook, as we are here on the Facebook Live. Keep it lit. KMA Talk Facebook Live.
Talk Facebook Live.
I am Adam K. the Brewmeister. With me, of course, Mr. Honest Abe.
Yes, yes.
This is the commercial-free edition of KMA Talk Radio. And this is Baby It's Cold Outside.
How's it playing?
From my phone into my mic.
Ah.
Hey, we make it work.
We make things work here on KMA Talk Facebook.
And there's a reason why I'm playing this song.
Yes, we brought it up in the beginning of part of the show. This is episode 321, and the first one where we've gone all Facebook in the morning.
Yeah, this is my soapbox lurk. This is a rendition done with Michael Bublé.
Ah, yes.
That's Bublé.
Yes.
Bublé. Listen, the only Canadian name I can ever remember is Brian Boitano. After that, I can't remember. I can't remember any.
What would Brian Boitano do?
That's it.
Christmas
when in
crooner
doubt,
king.
always ask, what would Brian Boitano do?
What would Brian Boitano do? Yes.
His wife is lovely, by the way. I believe she's from
Brian
Argentina.
Boitano?
No.
Oh.
Michael
Bublé.
Bublé?
I had the pleasure
Bublé?
of meeting her a few times when
Michael
I worked in
Bublé?
a jewelry store, and she
Sold
bought
her
some
some
items
Tiffany?
for me. Yeah, I didn't know you wanted to give them a free plug. But
Tiffany? Oh, yeah.
When I worked at Tiffany and Company, I helped his wife several times.
I think
she came and bought
I think
gifts.
you mentioned it already on the air when we talked about theft and stuff.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, look, I don't know if you've heard this or not. Is it my phone?
Yeah, that's your phone again.
It is. Okay. So, this song, which is, I guess, somewhat of a Christmas
Yeah, it's a
song.
classic Christmas
Okay.
song.
From like the 1950s at
It's
least.
being banned by radio stations across America.
For what?
It's part of the Me Too movement. They are claiming it's a predatory song.
So,
Yes!
explain their side of the story, and then we can
Well, I mean, look.
argue it.
Look, I just want you to know, in this Bubbly video,
Bublé.
yeah, Bubbly, in this Michael Bublé video here that we got over here,
The poor man.
the video is actually a video of everybody in the video is children.
Yes, I know.
Okay, so obviously when they made this video, they weren't thinking.
They changed some of the words in that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
So it
that
actually
one's
started-
slightly different.
Yeah, but it's still kind of the same. Look, it's a theme about a guy basically courting a girl.
Yep.
It's cold outside. Stay.
Why
Now-
leave? Why leave?
Why
It's
leave?
so nice
You can
here.
stay. He ain't being brash. He ain't,
No.
whatever. I think there's one line in the original song, like, "What's in my drink?" But, back in the 1930s, I don't think they had roofies yet.
Probably not. I don't know
so-
if the chemists were doing that much work
Yeah.
yet.
Maybe they did, but they're not. That's not what they're talking about.
It's-
Oh, hey, what's in this drink? It feels so good. It's warm inside. I'm
Exactly.
feeling good.
Yeah. So look.
You gave her a hot toddy, and it's a little bourbon in there.
And here's the problem, because I think this country now is like undeniably gotten to the point where they're trying to either they're ashamed of or don't want to admit what man's sole purpose since he comes out of the womb is, and that's to impregnate. That's the bottom line.
Procreate.
Yes.
Meaning of life.
We come out of the womb. That's basically all we spend the rest of our lives is figuring out how to get back in. Okay? And that's basically what it's about. Now, I don't mean it in a malicious, in a
get
bad,
back in.
in a predatory kind of way. Okay? I mean, there's gentlemanly proper ways to go, but 90%, I mean, anybody who wants to deny the fact, that's pretty much, as soon as you hit about 14, 15.
That's all you think about.
That's all you think about.
Yep.
Until you've been married for about 5 or 10 years.
Then you stop
Then
thinking
you stop
about it?
thinking about it. Yeah. Look, my wife's listening. I'm going to get in
She is.
Yeah, I know
She's
I'm going to
listening.
get in a lot of crap later, but there's a priority list. That changes throughout when you get older. At the beginning, it's sex, and then it's kind of food, and then when you're young, it's money.
Right.
And then it starts to shift, and it's kind of like sex.
Are money and power the
money,
same?
yeah, I'm the same thing.
Okay.
Money, and then kind of food, and then it kind of shifts where it's like money, sex, and then food, and then it kind of shifts a little as you get older. Money, food, sex.
So where is it now in your point?
Oh, sex is still on top. Of course.
I love you, honey.
Of course, I love you, honey.
No hablo.
Jose's like, oh wow, this is one brave dude next to me.
But so the argument here, just so that we can hear their perspective, which I don't think any of
I
us here
missed it?
agree with. I don't think you.
They think it's a predatory song. It's about a guy being predatory to
forcing, but it's more about
Forcing.
like forcing a woman to stay and engage in sexual
They're
activity.
calling it a rapist song.
I did hear that.
They're
So-
calling it a rapist song.
So I was playing it.
So they've taken a Christmas Carol now and made it a rapist song.
So I do a Christmas
Nothing
party.
says holidays like the rapists.
I do a.
I mean, seriously.
I do a Christmas party every year at my house, and one of my
I've
wife's
never been invited.
friends.
Thank you.
You have been invited.
I was about to say the same thing. I was invited last year.
You were there last year.
Are you boycotting?
No, I
Are you
wasn't.
boycotting the song now?
No, but someone at my party actually said, "I can't believe you're playing this song." One of my wife's friends, and we got into a whole heated discussion about it. And obviously, at my Christmas parties, there's a lot of booze flowing, and I'm not going anywhere. You guys have to find your way home with an Uber, but. And I got a little upset about it, and I am on this show by far the most liberal person,
without a doubt.
100%.
and I don't see it at all.
So this is the point where I reach underneath the table and check and see if your balls are still there. Is she invited to the Christmas party this year?
I don't know, because I don't think we're doing it this.
Okay.
We haven't decided.
If you decide this, right. Already curtailing the question.
I'm with you.
If you decide to do the Christmas party,
Here's the problem.
there's no problem. It's a yes or no question.
No, because
Will she be invited?
her boyfriend and I are very good friends, and she's a good person other than that one thing.
Listen, I'm not saying you don't invite her. Why don't you just answer the
Yes,
question?
she's going to be invited.
Okay, now here's.
Am I going to play the song? Yes.
That's what I want to know.
I might play it purposely.
Absolutely, you play it purposely.
Yeah, I might have it on a loop.
I was going to say you put it on repeat for like a half an hour. If you have any balls, that's what you do. Look, here's the problem. America as a whole needs to stop trying to erase things from the past because they don't agree with it today.
Correct.
Okay? You have to learn from the past. The past is how we got here. Like the people who want to remove General Grant's statue or that's part of our history. That revolution, that Civil War, not revolution, that Civil War
Robert E.
is
Lee.
what got us here today.
Well, that happened. So you can't change what happened.
Right.
You can change the future.
And I got news for you. There's a danger in changing the history that we've learned from.
The famous quote.
Those
who don't remember the past are doomed to repeat it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And look. I don't feel that the people in the South who were part of the South were bad people at the time. Okay, you have to understand, especially, and maybe because I relate to this because I have immigrant parents. So I knew growing up, especially as an American, first American, Arab American, first generation here. I knew there was stuff that just psychologically and mentally my parents couldn't comprehend. Because they had no experience of this growing up, right? I'm trying to explain to them what a prom is. You're going to what?
Right.
You're going to what? You're going to spend how much? What? Do what? Or do you agree? They just don't get it, So, and that's what's going on back in history. It was a different time. These people, they were on the wrong side of an argument, and history has shown, the correct side that won.
Right.
And I'm sure even amongst them, there are always some people who are ahead of their time and enlightened. There were people who kind of saw the wrongness of what was going on. So it's nothing that you should want to erase. And this is one of those things. This song was no way meant as a predatory song in 1930.
No,
okay?
definitely not.
Why would all the things you could spend your time fighting and arguing today, this is part of your movement?
All the problems in this country right now.
This song is a problem for you. And this is the problem today. Somebody I got in a Facebook war this week with somebody.
Oh, what a surprise.
I can't discuss it. I can't discuss the person because it's sensitive, it's close to home. But I got a Facebook war because they posted. I guess McCain's wife came out and made still crying about Trump dissing McCain, her husband, her late husband.
Yeah.
Okay. Why are you still crying about it? And the post was obviously from a female. You go, girl. I'm like, really? I said, why don't you take an example of this awesome veteran, the Republican, who lost his eye. I don't know if you saw this story.
Oh, yeah, the guy from Texas who, Pete Davidson, got the apology from on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
Fun of,
only person. Listen, he lost his eye. If you haven't heard this, look it up. It's an awesome story. This guy lost his eye in his third tour of duty.
Yep.
Okay? Running for Republican, and they made fun of him. Did you hear this?
No.
They made fun of him on Saturday Night Live, like calling him a pirate and stuff. Like, look how weird all the Republican candidates look. Right?
Well, they're making fun of a lot of different candidates.
Look how weird all the
But this is the only one who was a veteran who had a sole reason for not having an eye.
He had a reason to have an eye patch.
He had a reason to have an eye patch.
Defending Saturday Night Live was right to have a show that could be funny. Was this guy's defending it. So the country went in tirade, especially all the veterans in the military. Whatever. This guy refused to demand an apology. I'm not going to get upset. I mean, I don't agree with it. If that's how low they want to think, it's on them.
Yep.
Refused to demand an apology. And Saturday Night Live invites him on the show. Now, Saturday Night Live has had a history for apologizing. on the air, but never had that person on the air to apologize to.
Yeah.
And not only did they do apology, they did a whole skit, a segment, and it was funny.
Yeah,
It was hysterical, yeah.
It was funny, and it showed solidarity. And then you could tell that both those guys are really going to be friends for a while after.
Right.
You felt that on the air.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this is what happens when we do grown-up things and behave in a grown-up manner. Because that's what grown-ups do. My kids, I'm already training them at 6, 8, and 10. Stop your bitchy whininess.
Correct.
I don't want to hear it. Nobody in this family wants to hear it. I'm sure nobody outside this family
If you
wants to
need
hear
to
it.
cry, go in your room.
You need to cry, go lock yourself in your room. When
Yeah.
you're over it, come back out. That's the rule in my house.
Well, the
You know?
biggest problem with the country as a whole is the fact that everybody has feelings. You know, come on. I mean, at some point, you don't think I've been called names and I've been this and that. Yeah, hell, I'm Hispanic and I grew up in a very small town in North Carolina.
Right.
You know, what I mean, trust me, I got called a lot of things, but my parents taught me to just, you know what?
Absolutely.
Shake it off and keep on trucking. And I've taught my kids the same way. And now I see people, their feelings are hurt, and come on.
I mean, listen, I'm an Arab American. Tried living in this country for about 3 months after 9/11.
Oh,
I mean, listen, we all had it, but we don't cry about it. And I'm not saying, and we got a war. I'm not saying that, Mrs. McCain shouldn't be upset or offended. Yeah. What I'm saying is, get over it.
Yeah.
Don't vote for the guy in the next election. Don't like him, and that's it. But you're still making public statements.
Be better than that.
Be better than that.
It was over 4 months ago.
No, he dissed him during the election.
Oh yeah, well I was no, he died like 4 months ago.
No, I know, but the insult goes back years. Well, why are you continually making a public statement and press about this? Nothing good comes out of that, and they just don't seem to understand it. The people I get in arguments with. Well, she has it right. She does. But why are you still crying about it?
But can you say that same thing to Trump? He can't let things go. He's always got to get that extra comment in to show he's,
which is
that
my
he's
point
better than other
exactly.
people.
Does that become the standard?
Right. No, it should.
But okay, so of course it applies to him.
But he's.
I'm not here. I'm not here defending his actions.
But he should be setting an example.
Listen to me. But what does this have to do with what I'm talking about? I'm not saying he's a good example. I'm not saying that his behavior is right. But if your justification, your behavior is Trump's doing it, well, you're just as bad. You belong in the group.
No, but I'm saying he of all people should be one setting an example to not to I'm above what's going on with this reporter or this person that's saying things about me. He can make a comment about it. He was just say he's a weak individual. He says it 12 times.
What does that
in the
have to
same
do with this conversation?
I'm just
See,
saying.
This is what liberals do. Okay, this is what they do. Listen to me. You witnessed it here in the process. This is what happens. I'm making a statement that is really neither Republican or Democrat.
Correct.
It wasn't.
Correct.
I'm not making it Republican or Democrat.
Stop.
Wait your turn.
Yeah, I'm going to give you an opportunity to defend your weak ass self. So,
I'm going to need a drink after this.
Yeah, I made a statement that was neither Republican or Democrat. It was about the bitch ass whininess of this country. Okay, and that people need to stop being so whiny because. Here's a perfect example of the guy in Texas, Republican, of how good things happen when you acted like an adult, okay? And it turns into an anti-Trump thing. But Trump, and Trump, how did we get to that point?
It's not an anti-Trump thing.
Whatever. How did you make it about Trump?
Because you're saying how you need to rise above what people say about you.
You should, and Trump is included in that statement.
Okay.
He needs to, too.
But I'm just saying that the leader of our country, which, by the way, I don't have 1,000,001 problems with. I'm not like anti-Trump, impeach him. I still am a firm believer that the office needs to be respected. The person in that office, we need to unite. We need to be together.
Well, here's the problem. Okay, first off, Trump is a unique president
He
that we've
sure
never
as hell
had
is.
before. So, and just
Yeah,
like
at a time in the world where we never have had the things available to people, a la social media and everything else, and it's an unprecedented thing, completely.
But I'm handling Trump the way I handled any other president who I didn't agree with, whether it be Clinton, Obama, George Bush Jr. Look, man, it's what we got. Nothing I can do about it.
Exactly.
I'm not going to change it. If he wants to act like a fool, that's fine. But if I feel personally that the country is still in a better situation and moving in the right direction, I may not vote. But that's how I look at it. I'm not going to sit here whine and try to make him hold the standard that he's not going to be accustomed to. But on the same token, and I'm not defending him, I'm just stating the facts that's out there. Because without a doubt, he should keep his mouth closed 90% of the time.
But
But here's the thing. No other president in the history of time has been attacked from moment one since he got in office. There has been no respect from his office from anybody in the media or anybody who didn't like him or elect him.
Yeah, I agree. He's a different kind of president.
Without a doubt. He's gone through an unprecedented, unusual amount of disrespect from the media. So has he handled it poorly? Absolutely. But no president has had to handle also what he's being dealt either. It's a screwed up situation on both sides. You have a very untraditional, abnormal president,
right,
and you have the media acting very untraditional and abnormal as far as I'm concerned. So it is what it is.
And he has not changed from the man that was elected.
Well, that's
so
the one
this
good
is who
thing.
he is.
But that's the one good thing you could say about him.
Right. He
Trump,
is who he is.
One of my liberal friends, one of my dear friends who's liberal, he says the one thing he can appreciate about Trump is he never has to wonder what he's thinking.
Exactly.
There's no lying. There's
agree.
no guessing game. If he thinks it, he tweets it.
Yeah,
So I know how deep the rabbit hole goes with Trump. You know? And Trump really hasn't changed.
I have a person in my life he's not like Trump, but there's a lot of things that he says that I don't agree with. There's a lot of things that he does that I don't agree with. But you know what? What I can appreciate is that he doesn't change himself for situations that he's in. He is who he is. He can be in a 5-star restaurant and act the same way as he does when he's at Cracker Barrel. You know, that is who he is. So I have respect for somebody that doesn't necessarily change themselves based on situations. So I get that.
I don't know if it's respect, but at least I can handle it. I can admire it. This guy didn't run a campaign brushed and polished and, then became a moron.
Right.
He was a moron in the primaries.
Right.
You know, saying stuff that was
he was saying all these same
crazy.
things.
Talking about hands and small hands and water. I mean, insane stuff. And we elected him. So you really can't be in shock that
he's saying the things that he's saying.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, that's that. But
and my stocks are up, so I don't really care.
Anything that comes out of his mouth should be expected.
You're right.
He is who we thought he was.
Or at least it shouldn't be shocking for the most part.
Well, of course he said that.
I don't know if you can say we could expect it because sometimes it's so far off the wall.
Yeah, true.
There's no way we could ever thought he would say that. But it shouldn't be shocking. Yeah. That's what it is. But they're going to pull that song. Radio stations are boycotting.
Yes, for those of you just joining us, this entire discussion started from "Baby, It's Cold Outside."
Oh, yes. That's right.
Yeah, we got on a political tangent.
We got a little off. We got a little went down the rabbit hole a little bit there.
But the liberal took us there.
I did.
Yes, you did. He made it about Trump all of a sudden. The whole thing was, look, we need to get over things that we're not comfortable with today. Things that are part of our history that not necessarily were right or wrong, but they're our history. And I'm a firm believer history shouldn't be erased. They are rewriting books in schools.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
This is going on.
Yeah, you said the books that your kids have, there's stuff
they're
not
rewriting books in schools or omitting things in schools because they don't want to talk about it.
That's ridiculous.
It's absolutely, positively ridiculous. And I'm telling you, I don't know. I've said it before. I said it again. I don't know where this country's heading with this type of behavior. It cannot be in a good place. They just really can't.
Once again, all coming back to the participation trophy of the world.
You just have to have optimism.
Now you just riled up Skip Martin.
Yeah.
Participation trophies. He hates it. He had a whole tirade on it. You just riled up our good friend.
He liked the
now he's not going to send the patch. Now we don't have a patch.
Now he's not going to send me a patch. You guys got a My Father patch?
I'll get you. Yes, we do.
You're gonna be.
I'm
covered
gonna be a NASCAR. You send me whatever patches you got.
I got you covered, brother.
I know Pete's got some patches. If you got a couple of those lying around, send them too.
I'll get you some of those too.
Got to patch me up. My goal is to be the walking NASCAR of radio. That's my goal.
It works extremely well since we,
Hey, I got a lot of coverage, man.
It's a big billboard.
Inch for inch.
I was going to say that.
Inch for inch. I could equate almost to a NASCAR. So I got a lot of coverage.
You got a lot of yardage. We could definitely get away. We could definitely make some money off of this. Absolutely. If we put it all together properly.
There's no charge. Send me your patches. I'll wear them for pride. Don't listen to this guy.
I'm just saying, if we want to, we could make some money off of this.
Anybody that supports us, we'd love to have you on there.
I'd be honored to support your patch.
Let me ask you a question. If I guess we can mention his name, our competitor in the radio world.
No.
Can I? Okay.
No.
So if he sent you
that guy,
you know who I'm talking about. If he sent you a patch,
you know what?
What would you do with it?
Now that I'm thinking about it, I'd wear it.
You would?
Yeah.
Where would you put it? Like on the back? Like
yeah, probably somewhere down the lower back region of my shirt. Yeah, I'd wear it. No, listen to me. Once again, the same thing as the argument with before. If you're going to behave like somebody, that means you might as well be somebody. I consider myself better than him. I'm not going to lower my standard. And if he sent me a pitch, I'd wear it. Because at the end of the day, he serves the industry.
Yes.
Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, whether I like his show, whether he's doing a good job, he serves the industry which I am in,
Right.
and the lifestyle that we all enjoy.
And that we're all defending.
And then we're all
right
defending
now.
on a repetitive basis.
Yes.
So I would have no problem wearing one of Dave's patches. If he had a Cigar Dave patch, I would wear it.
And you said his name.
Yeah. Listen to me. It is what it is. Whatever conflict that exists between me and Dave, he caused it, not me. So, I mean, I'm all right with
And
it.
it's funny, he's the only one we really have a conflict with in the industry.
We don't have a conflict with him. He made a conflict, and I outed him on it. And it's been left there, you know?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, yeah. Yeah.
But listen, on some ways, I take that now, and as being a little older and 4 more years on the road, as a compliment. You know, I guess
he knows who you are.
I guess he knew who I was before the show, but I guess he didn't like the fact we started a show and, and acted not more maturely about it. And I take that as a compliment. I guess he felt like we had something to worry about.
Once again, going to be people have to act like an adult. If you're not going to act like an adult, we're going to treat you like a child.
But yeah, I have no issues with Dave, really.
All right. Oh.
Adam, I'm telling Adam, let's do a quick break. He's like, oh, God.
We'll do a quick break, and then we'll come back with the Cigar Insane Asylum. Yeah.
Absolutely. This is KMA Talk Facebook here from the Casa de Monte Cristo in Boynton Beach, Florida. Keep it lit. Welcome back to KMA Talk Facebook here, broadcasting live in Boynton Beach, Florida. I'm Adam K. the Brewmeister.
That's going to be our new theme song.
You're even really through the entire holidays? Yes, and this is the Baby, it's cold outside version of Florida radio because, well, it's been chilly all week, and I'm sure you've enjoyed every minute of it.
Oh, yeah, we don't want to get Facebook to drop it. That was Michael Bublé.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bublé, man.
Michael Bublé.
Show the man some respect.
And
He's
the
Mr.
chick from
Christmas.
Frozen.
Listen, a big shout out to my good friend over at Havana Connections, Shorty. Oh, I got to turn on the volume on this thing. Shorty, who listens to our show every week. If you're ever in his area in Virginia, right?
Correct. Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, stop by Havana Connections. Who just sent me this awesome picture.
You like that, right? Yeah.
Ask Jose why people refer to him as Earl. Is that whose dog? Is that dog named Earl?
Yeah, his name is Earl.
Is that his dog?
Show it to
No,
her.
it's
Here, put it right on there.
The dog became famous.
Oh, wow.
Because it's got an angry face to it, and he says, when I smoke, I look like I'm angry.
It does look like you a little bit, bro.
I can totally see the resemblance.
Listen,
Yeah.
I own it. I'm good with that. No worries.
Yes, this is the technical difficulty episode 321 of KMA live on Facebook, not on the terrestrial radio. But hey, there's only so many things we can do.
Hey, life is good here on Facebook. We can say what we want. We have, just as many listeners. Everybody's having a good
Yeah, I've
time.
been swearing all show.
You have?
Well, bitch
The
ass.
second
is
hour,
this-
yeah.
this
Those,
bitch-
those are okay on the
Oh,
air.
bitch ass is all right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Odd. You wouldn't think that bitch ass would be okay to say on
would
radio.
I would think that's a problem.
Now,
right?
if we say it too many times in a row, then it becomes a problem.
Oh, so it's about quantity, not the word?
Yeah. Well, it's the word and the quantity. So you can say
Is there like a
asshole.
formula for this?
Yeah.
Like
Unfortunately, there
3.2
is,
times
actually.
for every 10 seconds?
Have
or?
you never listened to George Carlin's 7 Dirty Words?
Yeah, but I didn't know it had time.
So then
element.
also.
Well, that's the new FCC.
Yeah.
That's part of the new FCC. That's the post
Janet
Jackson boob incident. Where they have to, if you clump things into a certain allotment, then they.
Does
get
anybody know
frowned
what the
upon.
real rule is? How does that work?
So you can say the word asshole, but you can't say it more than 3 times, I believe.
To what given period?
In a show.
So
I mean,
if
in
your
the
show's
period
an
that you're on the
8-hour
air.
show, you can't say it more than
In
3
theory.
times.
All right, so if my show's 1 minute, I can say asshole, 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 and then.
Be done.
Okay, so now we can't say it because I just said
You
it
just
3
took
times.
me. I can't say the word now, dude.
We're not on the air. It doesn't matter.
I know.
All right.
I know you're really looking forward to that too. Yes.
Wow.
And that's not necessarily it's an open rule. So it depends on how it's being used. If it's being used to talk about your actual butthole, then you really shouldn't use it. If you're talking about excrement, you're not allowed to use the
Yeah.
S word. Like there's all these weird strange
And a way you
rules.
put everything into
Right,
the whole
it's
thing.
all about context, and then somebody has to decide. Somebody there decides whether or not it's okay.
And if somebody complains, or like one person complains, then it really snowballs after
Wait,
that.
This sounds like the cop that came over to the house the other night. We had a party at the house, and they called the cops because of the noise.
Another party I'm not invited to.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, you can come to my party, bro. We throw down.
He won't come.
Listen, I've had the cops called in 2 weeks. I've had the cops called 3 times.
Dude, what are you doing?
No, because of the music. Are you kidding me? Dude, there's some sad people that. By the way, to all the neighbors out there, stop being a sad piece
Can I
of.
say it? Can I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Suck my balls.
There you go. Stop being sad, man. You know what? Rather than calling the cops, come on over, knock
Have
on the
a
door,
drink!
and join the party.
Yeah, man.
Stop calling
Yeah.
the cops on me, man. I'm trying to live my life.
Let's be honest, though, because I have to know. What
Yeah.
time of night was this?
And what kind of music?
No, actually, it was early. It was about midnight.
Midnight was early.
Hey, we call it midnight
It was
early.
midnight. Hey, that's early for us, man. We can throw down to 4 or 5
You
o'clock.
might have
in the
some
morning.
gringo neighbors who can't relate. Bro.
Yeah, listen, we love everybody.
Midnight. Okay, was it at least a weekend?
Well, not one of the days.
man.
Yeah, you're losing me a little bit here. I'm gonna have to take my suck my balls comment back. You're losing me a little bit.
There's
Join
a
the
rule,
party.
right? After 11 o'clock, you have to tune it
No.
down.
I don't know how up here, but in Miami-Dade, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, if the noise bothers you, you can call the cops.
Get outta here.
So I wrote a letter.
Oh, that's some
I wrote-
BS.
No, a true story. So I wrote the letter, and I gave it to every single one of my neighbors, and I said, if you call the cops on me again, I'm letting you know, here's my number, and I'm letting you know, no anonymous call. It's me calling at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. You can't even mow your lawn.
Wow.
True story. You can't even mow the lawn. Because
didn't
if
know
that
that.
noise bothers you, you can call the cops
Are
on
you
that.
serious?
True story.
This is ridiculous.
I have learned this over the years of
me?
the police coming. I'm up to $500.
because the
per
police
visit
have
now.
nothing better to do than do a three
Do they-
in the
in
afternoon
Miami-Dade.
lawnmower call.
When the cops
Miami-Dade.
come over, are they like, yo, Jose, what's going on? And like walk in, grab a sandwich.
No, I give
you
them
got my
cigars.
father back there for me, Jose.
Yeah, no. They're my buddies now. I just go, dude, do you want a cigar? Come and hang out.
I think at 11:30.
I agree.
It's time. It's
midnight.
Time to slow it down.
That's the time to tone it down as far as noise in
Yeah.
the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, up to 11:30, anybody should, chill out. I mean, there's extenuating circumstances. Sometimes your neighbor has a brand new baby and whatnot. But I think 11:30 is the time where if you're throwing a party once in a blue moon, that nobody should complain. All right, you deal with it.
Well, it sounds like there's a party every other night at Jose.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
you have a rocking
no,
house,
That's
man.
recently. I mean, it's always like once. Okay, so normally is in a year
22 times.
10 parties.
It's a lot. It's once a
10
month.
parties is a lot.
That's a lot, dude. You're a party throwing guy.
Not me, my wife, dude.
Oh, really? She's
Yeah.
the
you
social one?
Oh, hell yeah, she is.
We should do a KMA broadcast live from a Jose Ortega
Yeah,
party.
seriously.
Yeah, dude, seriously.
I'm serious. We should.
do one.
We should do a late night uncut right into an Ortega party.
Do you have a bunch of cigar industry guys that come over there, or what?
No, they're
Mostly the Garcia family from within my father group.
Okay.
All right.
It'd be a perfect way to get them all on the air.
That's true.
You
That'd
can't,
be awesome.
you can't really smoke anything else other than my father in my yard.
That's perfect.
It doesn't allow it. So all these other guys would have a hard time because they can't light up their cigars.
I believe it. All right. With that, let's see this week who belongs in a cigar insane asylum, brought to you by CLE and Asylum Cigars without an intro.
All right. This week's inductee really needs to take Parenting 101 in school. When Charisse Jones and her son, God, I hope I have time to talk about this. You just reminded me. When Charisse Jones and her son arrived at the local dentist office in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania on Wednesday, the child refused to go inside to avoid the dentist. He then climbed on the hood of Jones' vehicle and apparently refused to get off it. Jones, 36, then got back in the car and decided the best way to punish her son was to start driving. She drove 2 miles through a major roadway in an industrial park, heavily traveled by tractor trailers, to the police station. She said she didn't know what to do. Sergeant Sean Powell of Bethlehem Township Police Department said she wanted police assistance. Instead of calling 911, she decided to drive to the police department.
With the kid on the
With
hood
the
of
kid
the
on
car.
the hood of the car. Jones, who admitted to the cops that she drove with her son on the hood at 40 miles an hour.
Yep.
Oh, my
that was
God.
the speed limit.
Was arrested and charged with child endangerment, a felony, and reckless endangerment. She was freed on $1,000 bail. Congratulations, Supermom. You are this week's inductee to Cigar Insane Asylum. And being that we don't have to cut out time, I need to talk about another one, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. I love how, as a parent, you want to give your child the name A, B, C, D, E.
Oh.
I don't know about that.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, in the past 3 decades, there's been 300 kids named A, B, C, D, E, which is pronounced Obsidi.
Yep.
What?
Yes, it's pronounced Obsidi.
Yep.
Okay, and it's some Latin meaning. There's some meaning is either goddess or something, but it is Obsidi. There's a thing for it. But the spelling of it is A B C.
Is that the actual spelling of
Yes.
city?
Over 350 kids in the past 3 or 4 decades have been named A B C D E. Now, I don't care if, as a parent, if that's what you want to mark your child with for the rest of their
Your
lives.
child might.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then when you're on an airline and people are laughing.
Yeah, don't
Let them laugh. You've given them solid reason to make fun of you and laugh. But this woman is suing Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines has issued an apology because they were looking at the seating chart, and she's like, my daughter can hear you make fun of her name. You better let her know that she's going to have a lifetime of that.
Yeah, that's
it's not isolated to what's going to happen on this plane.
No.
And listen, it's not a bad name if I just said it.
No.
City.
No.
So why wouldn't you spell it A-B-S-I-D-Y?
Yeah.
Right? Obsidi.
Anything else?
But A-B-C-D-E. Okay? So any parent out there, all 352 of you, belong in the Cigar Insane Asylum as far as I'm concerned.
352.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Obsidies.
That's amazing.
Well, they're basically famous. All
this girl's
352
famous.
of them are famous.
Yeah, well, this girl's definitely famous.
Oh, absolutely.
All Google Southwest Airlines, Google child named A-B-C-D-E. It'll come up all over Google.
Oh, yeah.
I may have seen it and didn't realize that it was ABCDE.
A-B-C-D-E.
Wow.
That's her name. Obsidi.
You probably thought it was a joke. I mean, I would have.
Oh, I had a good statement, but
The Southwest employee thought it was.
I'll tell you what I told my wife when I heard the story, but I'm not even going to try to say it on the air. It was pretty funny.
All right. Very good.
Yeah, it's true.
So this has been a very interesting KMA Talk Radio. We hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. Hopefully next week we don't have any technical difficulties. We'll be here with Rob Norris from Altadis USA.
My man Rob.
Oh, yes. It'll be a great show.
Get the tea and crumpets ready. I just throw that in there.
thanks to Jose for coming on. Jose, thanks for being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
Shout out to Paul. Make sure you tune in next week. And if you missed any part of it, make sure you check out the KMA Talk Radio Facebook page for all the great contests and goings-on that are happening here on KMA Talk Radio. Until then, and as always, keep it lit.